Oh, so why does the camera give you 10 pounds? I mean, somebody want my 10 pounds because I really don't want it. I just feel like it's not a...
Vieira? Is that the way you pronounce that?
Welcome to the
Hello.
stream.
Oh, Florida Roads, yay!
Florida! This show's about you.
Kevin Finkel. Hi,
Hello, Kevin.
Shadow's back.
You Shadow.
Welcome.
You could say
So,
he returned.
you guys, you probably saw the title of this podcast, and it's about Florida. So if you're from Florida or know a little bit about Florida,
Or don't want to ever go to Florida.
Because we'll be wrong about everything.
Fair.
We're going to be talking about that, so we'd love to pick your brain.
If you have any brains left.
Florida.
Hey!
We have a
sorry.
special guest with us today.
That's special. He's
How
just
special.
special.
What is this?
He's so
Kent
special.
Brockman from Uruguay. Gary, you did the study on
I'm
Uruguay?
sorry. I'm so sorry. I tell you what. Why don't you
South
send me
America?
tickets and I'll come visit you in South America.
Ben
I'm so sorry.
Carter.
Welcome, Ben.
Hello, Ben.
Captain America.
Captain America's here from
My
Marvel.
favorite.
Hello.
No, that's a guy's. That's a YouTuber's name.
What?
Oh,
Captain America.
Vasco's building her first, or his or her first cob house.
Oh, really? Cobb House?
Fantabulous.
Cobb House. Yeah.
Shadow's in Florida.
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 Cool.
Florida.
Alright, sweetness.
All right. This is about
Sweetness.
you then. Uh-oh, me.
Florida.
That's not what I
Florida
wanted.
Rose is saying it's pretty hard to live off grid in Florida. It's pretty much illegal.
Whoa.
I've got good news for you tonight. It's
Oh,
still
Steve-
illegal. No.
Oh, Steve
Just
Council's
kidding.
also from Florida.
Golly, it's a
Oh,
Florida
wow.
contingent out there.
It's like
We need
Florida
to go
people
to
like us or
Florida.
something.
Somebody likes us in Florida.
Oh, you want to do
I don't know. I think I have someone there I know.
Someone.
Just
I got
someone.
3 or 4 someones.
Who?
I'm related to someone in Florida.
Several someones.
Does that give you a personal
My
connection?
sister's in
Like
Florida.
But we have two sets
And
of
nieces and
siblings.
nephews.
No, just one.
Just one.
Oh.
But I've only been to Florida a couple times.
I've never been.
Yeah.
Oh, a little bit.
Crystal Jacobson.
Jacob Jacobson?
Welcome.
Crystal.
Oh, Crystal.
Nice
Crystal
name.
Jacobson.
That's a cool name.
It's not bad. It's good. Really good. Hey, there we are.
Oh,
Are we? You're not. No, you're not.
Oh,
we're not-
okay.
We're not there yet.
I'm just getting the
gets
kids.
alarmed.
Gets
I get alarmed.
Oh my God.
Time to go. Let's go. Well,
Nice job.
tell us where you guys are from there in chat.
Wake
Oh,
up.
it's captive. It's captive America.
For captive.
Oh,
Still cool.
I can't read.
Still cool.
you
though.
read what you wish it was.
Yeah.
No.
Captain America. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay. Never mind.
I fanned out there for a second, but Captain America is very cool too.
Down, 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 down.
So again, if you're just joining us, you probably noticed the title, and we are doing a podcast about Florida and alternative building there and all that kind of good stuff. So if you're from Florida or know a little bit about Florida, we'd love to pick your brain about Florida as we're going on. We have a special guest with us today, and it's going to be all things the tropical Florida.
Kevin said he dated a gal named Florida. Does that count?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Was it
counts.
Florida Rose?
That
That
means you're in. You're in.
Thanks, kid.
Florida Rose is Southwest Florida.
South and
Right,
west. All right.
Robert Malice from Montana. We got 20 seconds, guys.
20 seconds to count down. Or
Oh, Minnesota.
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 You know, it's about time.
Rum, rum, dun, 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 dun,
No,
dun,
you
dun,
betcha.
dun,
You
dun,
know, you
Okay,
betcha.
8, 7.
dun, dun,
Ready?
dun, dun,
6.
All right, guys, ready?
Hello and welcome back to the homestead. Thank you so much for being here. Today's podcast is going to be on alternative building in Florida and the state of Florida. We're just gonna we have a special guest with us today, Jacob.
We're just
which
gonna
is
talk.
Shae's boyfriend, and we're just gonna talk all things Florida. So if you're
Yeah.
from Florida or
Jacob's from
knows-
Florida.
and know a little bit about Florida, please, we'd love to pick your brain about the subject. So please be sending in your comments or right there in the chat. We're gonna be watching it. So if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, we just love to hear from you. So
Hey,
I'm gonna
also
pass
too,
it.
you need to text everybody you know in Florida right this minute with
Tell
our
them to get on.
yeah, get our link out there. Let's go see. I want all the Florida people to log in.
Yeah, you don't have to. But
Do you
we'd
think
love-
YouTube would bog down if every Floridian logged in?
Yeah,
There's like
Probably.
several
That'd be like-
million of us.
That'd be flipping cool, wouldn't it?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
That'd be
YouTube says,
intense.
stop, don't do that, Nemo.
We'd be banned. We'd be like, excuse you,
Something
cannot.
is wrong.
So not doing that
Bye-bye.
again.
No. So anyway, I'm gonna pass the mic over to Dad, and
Pass
Dad
it.
is going
Pass
to
it.
ease us in.
All right.
Oh,
Do you want to introduce?
We
I
just
did.
did.
But we can.
We
already
full
did the
introduce. If
introduction.
you missed
Yeah.
it, if you're just joining us, this is a Jacob, which is Shae's boyfriend, and he is from a Florida.
Oops.
It's cool. You know that.
You're okay with that, right?
Nah, it's like, anyway, so
When did that
if you're just
happen?
joining us, so anyway, I'll pass the mic over to you, Dad, and you can kind of ease us in.
All right, for all of you who have, don't go there now, but just write this down. The Natural Building blog. We did a little bit of research on Florida, and somebody had commented earlier that it's really difficult to build any type of alternative building in Florida. But I got a couple of good things that are out there that might be helpful. The Natural Building blog is .com is a place to go to kind of get an idea of what's going on in the United States, really, in the ideas of alternative building. Specifically, they really like the earth bagging, so that's really cool. Anyway, I'm reading one here about best building systems for Florida, and there was an email question that came in, and the gentleman that works with this, he's from the Washington area, and Geiger, so where's his first name? Owen Geiger. And he wrote this. This is like 2013, so it was a couple years ago. The question was, we're in the process of building in Northeast Florida, and we'd like to build a home in alternative materials. But straw bales are not best because it's a zone 9 due to the risk of moisture. Imagine that, Florida. Is there any rain in Florida?
No.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, you can go out with a spoon and like dig in the dirt, and all of a sudden you got water. There's a lake. I think they even come with alligators, just right there. So it's really cool. So you can do that. And what was cool about this is that Owen responded to it, and he wanted to talk about some new structures and beams and the way that they're doing this. So if you go to Structure 1, STRUCTURE1, the number 1.com, they came up with some ideas on how to do building there. So they have this kind of reinforced specifications, and what it was an engineer got permitted to do this very thing. The only problem is that it doesn't really look like anything we do here in the desert. As a matter of fact, it's basically rebar, earth bags, and you have to have a regular, specific footing for like a home. So you have to expect that you're going to be putting a regular footing in. It's going to be about a foot, almost 2 foot foundo that it sets on. It's going to be about another 2 foot deep. So it's something that is a bit of a challenge if you're wanting to build there. But if you want to, go to that particular site, to the blog, and that'll also take you to
What's it called again, Dad?
what?
Is that the one I have a
The
picture
site.
of?
Structure 1.
Oh, okay.
Is
Reinforced
this what we have a
earth bag
picture of the
specifications.
Dad, or no?
Okay. Oh no, that's not the
Oh,
one.
Yeah.
we
Okay.
don't have that.
I mean, it's inside the article. So
Yes. So if you're
what's
interested-
what's the
Yeah.
blog called again, so that people can
Precision. Oh, it's called naturalbuildingblog.com.
And we'll probably have a link in the description. If we don't now, we
Yeah.
will.
Get you there.
We will have that in
Yeah.
there.
Now, Precision Engineering came up with this, and I think it only cost, I think it was like $800 or something for them to engineer this type of typical earth bag wall section that they did, which is going to help to meet codes and all that other jazz. So if you're interested in the Florida area, Northeast area, Jacksonville or so on, what?
Jacob's
I keep
yawning,
yawning.
poor guy. He's
What
been
time
up
is
like
it for
one.
you?
What time is it? In your
6:30.
It's 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, sorry,
Poor
dude.
baby, you'll be okay.
Someone
Okay,
get this
so,
man a blanket. No.
Yeah.
Nap
Now,
time.
if
We're gonna
Jeff-
have a nap cast.
If
so it's
Jacob
good
passes out and starts drooling, we want you to comment,
It'd
okay?
probably be really entertaining because he's.
Hey, get a felt pen. We'll mark on his face. That's always fun. Okay,
I've only
so
been up since 4.
yeah.
No, it's 3.
Remember though that any time
Yeah,
you're
it's 3.
building in any part of America, be sure that to go to whatever's the authority in the area and look up the yeses and the nos for building in that area. And it changes from county to county, place to place. So there's no standard rule. There is a unified code for America, but each state and each person that enforces the code can make it whatever they want. And there are provisions for alternative building, and they leave it up to the state to make the rules. So there you go. Okay, that's the first one. Then I wanted to take you to another alternative building. It's a if you go to newpanelhomes.com, there's some folks in Florida that are pushing this idea. The panel idea is not a new idea. They've been building panel homes for years and years and years. However, these are unique. They're insulated with foam. They're insulated with a if you've ever put floors in, it's like a Wonder Board. It's a concrete kind of a board, and that's the sheeting on the outside of the foam. And they can be 4 to 6 inches in thickness, R39 value, so it's a pretty decent value. So it did have some cons to it, though, as I was reading through it, is that they're not as bug resistant as you would like for them to be. So bugs like to take up residence inside
It's
foam.
a home for you and the mosquitoes.
Yeah, well, or whatever's bigger. So I haven't seen, even a small crocodile. I'm
The
sure could get inside there,
spider.
so. But it's kind of interesting. They build, they of course build them in the city that this is from, and then they carry them out on a truck, and then they drop them on your condos. So, and Jacob, can you dig very far in the soil there? A foot,
Yeah.
foot and a half, maybe. Okay.
Well, you dig pretty deep.
Depending on the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally dependent on the area.
No basements, right?
No basements. They just
Okay.
flood.
Okay. So it's mainly when you're digging, you're going to be filling it up with concrete.
So you could make
Okay,
a
that makes
basement,
sense.
but it would double as your well house.
Well house or pool. Indoor pool.
Indoor pool.
Indoor
Yeah.
pools.
Okay, so that's a little bit about some areas there. You go ahead and send some comments out, ask some questions.
I'm thinking.
Remember, we're not experts on Florida, but we thought we would try to get some of your experience there. So please be sure to comment. Okay, while we're waiting for you guys to just start. By the way, have you texted everybody yet? Just want to make sure. Okay, so there's another.
Okay, sorry, we were discussing
is there one
ways
more?
to build.
Yeah, I got one more to do.
pools.
Okay, and this one's the University of Florida went ahead and did a study on alternative buildings, and this is nothing new to me. But the best way to look at what's in this particular PDF at schimberg.ufl, which is University of Florida .edu. So schimberg.ufl.edu. The contents is easy. What they have is what's called autoclave or aerated concrete. We used to call that foam concrete. So that's a lightweight. They use a blocking system that they put together. They use what's called balloon concrete. Balloon concrete is really cool. It comes as a big wad of fiber, like a really thick canvas that's impermeated with concrete. And you basically blow it up, and then you wet it down while it's inflated, and then it dries hard like a big balloon, like you're doing plaster of Paris. You used to make plaster of Paris type balloons and put stuff on. It's the same idea. And then that becomes your home. You live inside a concrete dome.
Oh,
That's
that's
built.
cool.
There's
Yeah,
a
it is
couple
kinda
of
cool.
those out
Is it like the
Yeah, there are a
that,
few.
is it like that cement that they mix with soap so it's frothy, and then when it's like kind of lightweight but it's firm?
Yeah, it's firm. It's aerated.
Yeah.
So on some of
Okay,
those.
It's really cool. Oh,
Captive America is saying that monolithic literally means one piece. Many pieces don't work. He's a foam carpenter, and he's done a lot of it. And he says you got to pour it all at once or it fails.
Monopores are really common, especially with foundations. So I would imagine they do lots of monopores, and so they build the footings, and then they have the 4 to 6 inches of concrete for their slabs. So monopores are very common in lots of places. So, but if you're going to pour walls, you could probably do a monopore with walls and use foam concrete.
Yeah, it sounds like he's
Yeah.
been doing it or something
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
That's very neat.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Then there's the insulated concrete forms. Those kind of things are really simple. We call them green block out here. We got a chance to tour a green block home.
Very
That was really
beautiful.
cool.
I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
Yeah. Out here in the desert, it's probably pretty easy to just create these foam blocks, and then they line them with rebar, and then they pour concrete in the hollow of the foam, and then to put in their electrical and all that, they burn holes in the side of it with a special little iron, and then they actually clamp their all their electrical conduit, right into the foams, and then of course they cover that with whatever they want to cover it with. So that's kind of a cool.
Looks like a
little
lot of
system.
them use stucco and stuff like that.
Another one that from the study that University of Florida did was just using steel. What's the problem with steel in Florida?
Rust.
Rust
It's
is
not
really
that
bad.
It's not as bad as, say, like New York.
Yeah, and a lot of the steel
There's
that's
some
out there
other
now, like especially for like steel studs and that kind of stuff, have some kind of zinc coating on it, so that does help, I'm sure. But I'm sure that could be another problem. And then insulated panels is just strictly just that same thing we just talked about. And then tilt ups. So when we did tilt ups in all of Microsoft's buildings in Northeast in the Washington area, all of those started out being tilt ups. So they would pour big slabs, the walls were poured on the ground, and they'd take cranes and just lift them up into place, and just lift 4 walls, and pretty soon you get a building,
Huh.
So pretty easy. All right, those are the different things that Florida is offering. We went to the nearby colleges and a university there and got 4 or 5 of their ideas.
So what about like hurricanes and stuff? We've got some questions on
Yeah.
that.
Well, now on the domes, for what I was reading about, is that it's best now. You know how we've been doing? We throw our walls up, right, and then we stack a roof on top of it because we don't have hurricanes. We might get a microburst in here, 60-mile-an-hour wind or something, but it's not anything.
Too bad.
Yeah, it won't lift the roof off and carry it away. However, hurricanes, they're 100 plus. So you're looking at round domes are the best. So Khalil came up with that whole concept of what was that? Cal Earth. That whole concept of the dome. So I would recommend that. Plus, there's not a lot of clay in.
Yeah, Jacob was saying.
there's
In northern Florida, there's a little bit of clay, and it
Yeah,
gets thicker
towards
up
Georgia
in North
probably.
Florida, but
Yeah.
not down south.
So
Which
there's
is
some.
kind of a
It's
bummer
geographical, yeah.
Doing the
Got a
earth
lot of
bags.
limestone,
Yeah.
though.
So your fill content is really important. So you may have to add lime, or you may have to add cement of some sort to your mix to put it in. So your
Yeah.
costs keep going up. Plus you have to deal with whatever codes are in that area. Pretty soon they're kind of expensive. So they may be very cost prohibitive, but they're cool. So if you don't mind paying a few extra bucks for it,
Oh yeah.
$100 a square foot or
a-
$10 a square, whatever it is.
Yeah, I saw a domed house that was the cool and the domed, they're really neat. But I've never seen one this cool. It was a beehive, but it was done like the design of it was really really cool. And I saw that the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. I would live in that. So you can probably do some fun designs with that kind of stuff there too. But yeah, it looks like the cement, the hardness of it. We experimented with that, and what was it? Up where we were at.
Okay, I have a Second
Need
Amendment
some
alert
cement there.
in Florida. The alert is that Florida does not know how many guns they have in their state. So that's an alert there. I got
I don't
that.
think we
I
know.
think that's probably
From
true
the-
for the
Probably
whole
for the whole
United
US,
States.
though,
though.
yeah.
Yeah, they say we don't know how many
Just don't
guns we
know.
have here. So beware if you're there and you're trying to rob somebody. Could be an issue. So
You
don't
might
wanna
want to
go
do
there.
your research ahead
Yep.
of time. That's
Yep.
It's like trying to.
Okay.
it'd be
By the way,
like
if you guys
trying to
text
come-
everybody, texting is important. Text your relatives, your enemies, anybody. I don't mind. Just-
We'll take them all.
Yeah, we'll
We're
take
not
'em
big-
Whether you like them or not.
yeah, whether you like them or not, have them come on out
Spread
here to
the love around. No.
see the show. Okay, I'm done here.
Anyway. All right. So Jacob, what is your favorite thing about Florida?
The beach.
Beach.
The beach, by far.
Do you what kind of stuff do you do on the beach? Is it like something specific that draws you to it, or is it just the atmosphere?
I don't know. There's something about the ocean and washing like all the worries and stress of the day away.
Just chill
Just
place.
relax.
I like that.
Go out in the
very
water. You can stick your fingers in the sand and the sandbars and find what are called sand dollars, or little wafer fish, shellfish things that you find out there.
My only experience with a sand dollar is our friends had used them for the lights, and I knocked one accidentally and we were playing a
broke?
game or something. No, it didn't break.
Really?
Just had sand that must have poured out for 10 minutes straight, and I felt so bad. I was like, oh my gosh, I broke it. but I think it's probably still there. But before we get into asking you too many questions, if you have any comments or anything about the alternative buildings that we talked about here, or any other things that you would like
Before
to
we
add into the
interrogate.
Before we
conversation.
interrogate.
Before interrogation.
Yeah.
Please let us know. Comment. We'd love to hear from you. So that being said, do we have anything?
Yeah.
Black Knight Boy is saying that his family is looking into building a house with shipping containers. We
Oh,
actually have a
I
picture
had an article on
of
shipping containers. I forgot
Yeah.
about it. I'm sorry. But yeah, we even thought about shipping containers. There was one man that just recently don't remember what it is, and I've already closed that up. But he did shipping containers, and he was like one of the first people in Florida to build an actual home, 3,000 square feet home, made out of stacks and stacks of these shipping containers. So then you can pick those up from anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 a piece. So depending on how long you go with the big long ones, the 53s, those are really long. You put 2 or 3 of those together, and all of a sudden you get a large place. And it's already structurally built. You just need to redo the ceilings and connect them together, and a little bit of welding, cut out some windows, doors,
Yeah, they're doing,
reinforce
like,
the floor,
round
put some plumbing, electrical,
Cute.
boom, you're in.
Yep.
And I loved how they were placing them. They'd place them at fun angles and stuff. It really made.
Oh my
really-
goodness.
It makes
I
square
think
fun.
I've seen one of those on the side of the road when we were driving up.
That's
Well, we've got a buddy trying to put
Big
one of those
pictures.
together, so I'm hoping he gets his finished up.
Oh, yeah, that would be fantastic.
Matthew Gerard is saying that there's houses by him that are all made out of triangles.
Interesting.
I wonder what
Triangles?
material, what building
Triangles.
material
What
would that be?
material were you using for the triangle?
Or
Just regular material or something different?
I don't know, it'll be probably a little while before that gets to
Oh,
that.
Triangles.
Interesting. I like it.
Like, I wonder if they like made it to look like that, or if they're using something triangular.
Would be interesting.
Good question.
Interesting.
Because if they made it like that, I mean, it's like, phew, doesn't really matter. But like, I don't know of any triangular building type shape things.
Yeah,
you
what
could
would that
use.
be, I wonder, that's
Very
interesting.
interesting.
Cheese wedges.
So,
Made from cheese
So,
wedge boxes. Lots of boxes together, making a cheese.
You know, I
Box.
thought orange when I thought triangle.
Really?
Yeah.
so
Maybe-
okay. Oh, what?
Well, I lost it, but I think Florida Rose, I believe she said something a little earlier about, she has a tiny house that is, but it's 800 square feet, which really isn't too tiny. Yeah, that's a nice sized
Wow,
house. But she
yeah.
was saying that.
Oh, that's really neat.
That's
I don't
only
know.
100 square feet more than what this was when we first moved into
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
that is awesome. Hey, there was somebody that is doing some building in Brazil, and I didn't get much of a comment there, but hey, I'd be interested in knowing how they do alternative buildings in Brazil. So if you're
Huh.
from Brazil, comment if you would, and we'll call you out and we'll see what you're doing. It'd be kind of cool.
Okay, so Jacob, you grow some stuff.
Yes.
So what has been growing very well for you? What has
Watermelons.
grown? Watermelons. are
Watermelons grow really good. Strawberries, broccoli, cauliflower, all kinds of stuff.
all kinds of goodies.
See, I was under the impression that everything grows
Well,
in
everything
Florida.
does grow, but most of the things that you do grow, there's a bug that wants to eat it.
We understand that.
I thought that was
we
just us.
understand that. And so let's see. Okay, so watermelons. So are these all things that you've grown?
Yeah.
Or,
Pineapples grow amazing.
so when you set up, like out here, we have to. This is probably a redundant question because I think I know the answer. But when we do like a garden, we never do raised gardens because the water, there's just not enough water. We have to do ours kind of a sunken beds when we do any kinds of growing. What kind of setup do you usually do to grow that kind of stuff? Or does it matter? Do
We
you get
got
pots or-
several different systems. We have an aquaponics system that does strawberries and broccoli and mint and things like that phenomenally. We got raised beds that right now are growing these long purple beans. We don't know what they're called, but they're purple and they're beans and they taste okay.
Hey, that works.
And we
They
got
taste
we're also
purpley?
They're purpley.
they're purple.
Do they leave your mouth purple after you eat them?
You know, I've never
You
checked.
walk around with it.
Yeah.
Never checked.
Yeah. Okay.
But we also have sweet potatoes, and those are growing in raised beds. And the pineapples we just kind of tossed in the backyard, and
they
they
just-
started growing.
That's
And
great.
same with the pumpkin. And
Very
watermelon.
cool. Very cool.
I think you once told me that watermelon grows wild, where you'd just be driving and see a random
Yeah,
watermelon.
you wouldn't be driving, but when you're backpacking and hiking in the woods, you can see these little teeny tiny watermelon-like things.
Aw, that's pretty cool.
That's really neat. That's really neat. Okay, so
Just an update here. A few folks have asked, who is this guy?
this is if you're just joining us. This is
I don't
Jacob,
know.
which is Shae's boyfriend, and he lives
Who is this person?
in Florida. So that is actually the inspiration of this particular podcast. We wanted to do all things Florida this week. So
Do I know you?
do I?
Only slightly. I can't get her off the phone. She's constantly on the phone with this guy.
question. Darn.
which is cool.
I don't
It's
own a
free.
phone.
Oh, now here we have a couple of different growing seasons. I think we're supposed to.
We're supposed to. But
We have
not
two.
supposed
Do you
to.
have we
Two
have
seasons.
2 seasons?
Yeah.
But how many growing seasons do you guys have out there?
I don't know.
Year round.
Normally, when something dies, there's something else we can plant that'll grow.
That's good. That's always a good thing. That's
So our tomatoes just died, so we planted sweet potatoes. When the sweet potatoes die, we'll plant tomatoes again.
very nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
That's nice.
Very cool.
Way to brag about it.
Dan bought a 20-foot shipping container for $100
Yeah.
Oh.
back in 1990. That was a few years ago, and he used this storage container there in the California area. So thanks. I know Shell's parents have a couple of them too. So
It looks like Returning Shadow is saying, my neighbor uses an old giant satellite dish to hang stuff from to grow.
well, I tell you, that's
awesome.
that's
It
rednecking
was.
it there, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can take all kinds of things made out of them dishes. You know?
Wheel.
I'm
I
glad
got
you
wheels
gave
on my
us-
new Ford just put on there. Just made out of
I'm
dishes.
glad you gave us the dish on that.
Yeah.
Matthew Gerard says that he has purple beans in Canada, and they turn green when you cook them.
Very cool.
Try
That's
cooking
pretty
them.
cool.
Ours stay purple.
When you cook
oh,
them?
it's a
When you
different-
cook them,
it's a
they
different
just
strain
they're
then.
They just
and
just-
they get like 24 inches long. Like this is like a green bean diameter, but 24 inches long.
Shoot.
They're
Why?
huge.
Do they have like pods
What do they taste like
inside?
though?
They
Doesn't
taste
this like taste like in bark or something? I mean, it
no,
seems like
no,
it's
they
really
taste
long.
like green beans, but
Oh, okay.
they're like got their
What?
own little twist of green beans. Yeah.
Do you even know what that? Can you look them up? Are you eating something you shouldn't be eating?
No, they're fine. I've eaten them for a while.
I haven't died yet. We're good.
I'm still alive-ish.
I'm still around.
I don't know.
McDougal says in Roswell that the bugs are starving.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
We don't ask why. We
Okay.
just accept. It's just a thing, okay?
Okay. Bugs are starving in Roswell. You know, maybe the aliens come down and ate them up. Is that what the deal is? or-
maybe. Okay, so you mentioned what kind of soils do you find in Florida?
Northern Florida's got like clay soil with a little bit of rocks. Where I live, it's more of a sandy soil. Like even if you pull in like 20 truckloads of really nice topsoil, it turns to sand.
Oh, nice.
And about 6 feet down, there's limestone. So there's not a whole lot of topsoil.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask a super noobish question, but is limestone is it like rock in its rock
It's a
form, or is
soft
it-
rock.
Okay.
So you can still bust it up with a shovel, but it is still a rock.
It's kind of a pain to get through, or is it kind of? Okay.
We don't usually try getting through it unless we have
Okay.
heavy equipment.
Have to. How thick is that layer? Do you know? Is it
Of the-
very or
of the
limestone?
limestone?
I
No
mean, not that you
idea.
have to go further, maybe, but
I have no idea. I've
No
never tried
basement.
digging
Interesting.
through it.
Yeah.
interesting.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So how's your guys' fish up there?
Yeah, how's
Fishing.
fish in there when you're not eaten by crocodiles?
What crap?
I was down fishing. You got
Um,
eaten by a crocodile.
Pretty good. I'm not a great fisherman, so I don't know a whole
Does
lot
it
about
require
fishing.
patience?
It requires patience and sitting there like this.
Constantly.
I've gone
intense.
It's
noodling.
probably why you're a bad
That's
fisher.
I've tried noodling in the rivers, which is
What is
fun.
noodling?
Noodling is where you go fishing with your hands. You go bare hand fishing.
Did you catch anything?
No.
Well then,
A lot of guys do bow fishing. There's a lot of bow fishing up there.
what's bow
That always looks
fishing?
fun. Like I see that, I'm like, I could do that. That looks like fun.
Oh, when
You stand on the front of a boat, and some guy chase the fish around, and you shoot arrows at it with string attached to the arrows.
That's
really-
awesome.
It sounds really. It
Yeah.
looks like a lot of fun.
Never done it.
I'm
It's
not-
one of the
I'm
things I
not
want
gonna
to get to do.
Now, how about the sinkholes? What's the worry about
Yeah.
that?
There's a lot of those. There's a lot of those.
Got one in your backyard?
No,
Good.
maybe.
Don't know, right? You never know, right?
Not sure.
Is it because why?
It's like it's where water seeps into the ground and it pulls away the earth. And like it makes a cavity where the water pulls the sand through the stone and washes it away because the aquifer level, the water level, rises and lowers pretty constantly. And as it does that, it takes a little bit away every time it goes up and down.
Oh, I can
So
see.
you have this cavity that opens up in the ground, and then just gets to a
And
point
bad
where
things
it's
happen?
too weak on top,
And it just-
and it just.
How
goes.
deep are they usually in?
There's
Suck
anywhere
everything
from like
in, or?
I've seen them as deep as like 80 feet deep.
Wow.
And
How
I
wide?
know
Just
they're
like-
bigger. They're bigger.
No, that's a
ones.
basement.
Yeah,
That's something, I'll tell you.
that's how lakes form.
Oh,
So is that where the alligators come up?
No,
yes, they come up
from,
out of the
from
ground.
a
ground.
sinkhole
Sinkhole?
abyss.
they come out of the Everglades, which is basically, think of like 500,000 acres of just grass and water, where grass is growing on top of water.
Nah.
There's really no earth except
It's a
for where
void.
the roads have been built through it. It's all just
Nice.
water with grass on top of it.
Mhm.
That's where the alligators come.
So let's talk one more thing I want to talk about is the Florida Keys.
What?
I've
the
never
Keys.
been there.
You live in Florida. It's like us, never been to the famous places you need to go to,
Never been to the
and
Keys.
you live right next door.
I've been to like Fort Lauderdale and Miami, but never the Keys.
Okay.
Never went farther south.
I want to get on there and, like on a bike, like a nice Harley or something, and take the keys on a Harley. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
I want to go do
And
it on
then
a
jump a
sailboat.
plane and go to Cayman Islands, mess around, and come back. And it'd be fun.
I've always wanted to do it on a sailboat. Start like North Florida, go down the Gulf Coast,
Uh-huh.
do the Keys, and then go down to the Bahamas and go
Sailboats are
spearfishing all the
cool,
way down.
but Harleys are fun.
Harleys are.
Yeah, okay. So you got
Two
that,
different
and then what else?
experiences, both good. I was gonna make a Florida Keys joke, but then it was just so lame I couldn't do it.
No puns?
It was a pun, but it was
Oh.
it just was so lame.
Well, I'm
just
glad you
couldn't do it.
withheld.
Wow.
I
didn't
did.
really-
I had self-control exercise. Do we have any comments over there, Mom?
Yeah, Steve Council is saying a sinkhole is where the water table drops and the soft earth above falls in.
Yeah, just
Mm,
thank you
perfect,
very
perfect.
much. That's
Yeah.
good.
I
You
think
confirmed
that
it.
that would
Put it
kind of
in a-
scare me. It would give me high anxiety. Like if I.
Isn't the Devil's Hole in Gainesville 2 miles deep, according to Sawtell?
I
Is
have
it?
no idea.
Yeah,
Are
that's
they?
what she
Are these
said.
things like
Yeah,
pretty
easy idea.
common? Like they just happen
Wow.
all the
Yeah,
time?
they just happen. People have houses and they'll pay people to come and pour concrete to fill the sinkholes underneath their houses.
Oh, wow.
Because people notice their houses sink like 2 or 3 inches into the ground, and when a building is built, it will sink like an inch.
Oh my
but
gosh.
but
Wow.
after it's settled, after like a year and it continues to sink, there's usually a sinkhole underneath, and there's surveyors that'll drill down into your, like in the hole in your driveway or in the center of your living room to find out if there's a sinkhole or not. If there is,
Shoot.
usually they fill it with concrete or they tell you to move and find a place to live.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, Ben Carter wants to know, what does your shirt say because you're all crumpled?
I don't know. Something. I think it actually might be about like breast cancer or something.
We
I
may
don't know.
be.
We don't
may.
know.
If you stop moving it, we may bleed red and black, but our hearts.
Oh, no, it looks
Oh,
like
no,
it's
no,
a
it's-
cardinal.
I
It's like
think-
But our hearts are pink.
No,
Is that a cardinal?
No,
No,
is it?
I
I don't
think
think
it's
so.
some
It
kind of
looks like
pink-
an eagle. to
Pink
me.
eagles.
Oh,
yeah,
I think it might be a sports shirt. I don't know where I get shirts. I just throw them on. So
Mine
Sorry,
says
it wasn't very funny.
Destiny, and yours says Columbia.
On the back it says live life.
So.
by
All right.
Oakland
Well,
City,
guys, we're
'cause Florida.
very excited about our podcast coming up. So stay tuned. We may touch on your state in your area or
Our
your
guest was
region
tired.
in the United States.
yeah, let us.
or
let us-
possibly any place in the world. If you're doing some alternative building or know folks in your area that are, get together, have a big party on Wednesday night about this time, and just all get together and comment about the stuff that you guys are doing in your different countries.
Make sure you log on different machines so that we see that there's more than one.
Thank you. Then you can all comment.
Don't you
So,
know it's only one
you know,
person?
it's like-
Wasn't
it's
it
like having
one
a-
day you had like as many
Oh yeah, I've had like 7 or 8 devices.
just
running at the same
playing them
time?
podcasts
Yep.
in your
I've
house.
done that before.
Oh my god. Thanks for inflating our numbers.
I have
Okay.
to ask though, JR
funny.
is saying that gator tail jerky is good. Have you had
Yeah,
that before?
that is good.
Oh,
And little
that
gator
would be fun.
bites are the best. They're little fried like chicken nuggets, but they're made of alligator.
You know what we should have
Tastes
done?
like
We should
chicken.
have ordered a bunch
Ew.
of gator type food and just had a taste.
Ew.
Oh,
of it.
man, that would have been cool.
Sounds good.
And just, we
Baltimore
just
Ravens.
We'll have to
Why
do
does that
that.
gross me out?
Order food from different places that are weird and just try them on a podcast.
We should get like what is it like Chinese snacks are always really really bizarre.
Yes.
Some of those things kind of scare me in different places. Like there's some areas where like fish is a big. I don't know. I've just seen some really exotic snacks that I don't know.
Okay.
It looks like an acquired taste on some of that stuff. Still
You know,
good,
I
but
wish we
everyone's
could. I
different,
wish we could talk more about the Adobe homes across the world. Thanks to Florida for, attempting to build some that are out there. There are
but-
some.
Yeah, trying it
Some
out. And doing
some states are getting there, but the problem with some of them is they require so much regular building material you know, it just
Yeah,
becomes
it's
too
not
expensive.
cheap,
You might as well just use
Regular building material.
regular building
Yeah.
material.
Priced,
you know?
priced,
Like
I've
that.
Yeah,
priced
the
it out
bags
before
become
for
useless.
the cinder block building versus earth bag, and cinder block's cheaper.
Yeah. So you know, it's
I mean, it's different for everywhere. You know, we
Yeah.
all have different things, different alternative
Yeah.
solutions, I guess,
Yeah.
for everything. But
well, I do remember living in the Philippines for a little bit, and I think somebody,
Yeah.
Was it
there was
Steve?
a comment there.
I think it was Steve Council. Yeah, that you know they build them on poles or they build them with sticks and then mud thing on the outsides and they thatch a roof kind of a deal and put that on there with ferns, palm ferns, and so that's interesting. That was a long time ago, so I think that they've upgraded, probably using more cinder block. I bet you in the Philippines.
yeah. If it's working, you know what I mean.
Okay, Vasco Zuzus
Yes.
says that's an Atlanta Falcons shirt.
Thank you.
Now you know.
So I'll try not to forget next time somebody else asks me, because people do ask me all the time. It's like, what's your shirt say? I don't know. Read it. No.
Oh wait, it was Carolina Reaper Challenge out there. So I don't know. Is that part of the Reapers part of that deal
What?
too? I don't know. Maybe it's a
There's a challenge.
I don't know. Somebody's challenge. Everybody
Better
challenges.
challenges.
Yeah.
I
So
really
okay.
make them watch
Well, let's close it up.
Yeah, so thank you so very much for being with us this week. We really appreciate it. If you'd like to check out our channels, both the folks here and the ones off camera, all of our channel links will be down in the description. Thank you very much, Jacob, for joining us today. Very, very fun to talk Florida
He just
with
flew
you.
in.
and
He
also
flew in this morning, and his arms were really tired.
He's a little tired.
So,
a lot of flapping. So we also have a Patreon as well.
yeah. We do. There's a nice segue.
Good one.
Okay.
Oops,
Did I
So,
say-
A lot of flapping.
He's a lot of It's very tiring.
On a
flying.
pink flamingo.
I was gonna say,
Now,
there's
are we peeking?
there's all the links that you talked about too and more down
Oh
there.
yeah, well, all the
Yeah,
links
the
that we
Florida
discussed,
stuff, too,
yeah, all
that
of
we-
the links
you
about the
can find.
alternative stuff that were early on in the show, we'll have all those links down in the description. Well, if you'd like to check them out, so
Sure.
they'll be all down there. So anyway,
Yeah.
We have a
Okay.
Patreon.
We do have a Patreon as well. So we sure appreciate all of the folks who've been giving to our Patreon. So don't check out yet. Don't leave
The
yet.
hair.
Because the good news is that you still have an opportunity. So any little amount helps out with our Patreon account. Someday we'll be able to kind of do this on a more of a full-time basis and create even more content and much more fun things to do. So please, if you get a chance, go to patreon.com/mylittlehomestead. You'll see us there. And then, like I say, any little amount sure helps.
yeah, we really
Thank
do
you.
appreciate
Thank
all
you.
that. All that helps fund what we're doing, and
Yep.
our goals are always to improve our videos. So
Yes.
that really does help with that,
Absolutely.
and to be a participant in
Yes.
that really
Yeah.
warms our hearts and makes that possible for
Makes
us.
us better.
So thank you very much. But regardless of that, we still are looking to improve and still are looking to do this because it's something we want to do for a long time. So
Ever and ever.
absolutely. Anyway, thank you so much for being with us, and we hope to see you a Friday for another weekly peek, and of course next Wednesday for another My Little Podcast. Thank you so much. Bye.
See you later.